Hey guys, Morgan the Rebellious Reviewer. We talk about music, books, and movies. And today we're doing the grand part 10 in my Album of the Day series. So, for those of you who haven't seen the previous parts, this is where me and 6 of my dragon imaginary friends generate a random Pokemon and a random number and pick an album based on those two things. Link to the table with all the Pokemon types and genres linked in the description, as usual. Today's Pokemon is Smeargle, which is a normal type. Today's genre is pop, and today's album is Pamyu Pamyu Revolution by Kyary Pamyu Pamyu. Before I bring in my imaginary friends to have them review it, though, I'm going to briefly give my thoughts on it. To me, the first 10 songs on this album are the equivalent of eating a whole box of sugar cookies. It's fun at first, but eventually it starts to wear on you, causing you to feel sick from too much sugar. Then you take a little break and then you can come back, making the return all the more fun. As you can probably guess from that analogy, this album is bright, happy, and as you could probably guess, sugary. Yeah. The sound does start to wear on me over the course of like 12 tracks, but track 11 does offer a brief reprieve, so at least there's that. Still, as much as I don't think this album needed to be 47 minutes, like seriously, yeah, tracks 8 through 10 run together for me specifically, which, yeah, I think some of those could have been cut, even though the album is only 47 minutes, which is pretty close to average length. But still, it's a fun album, and I enjoyed it. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's get started with the voice acting, shall we? Hey, I'm Bolt Thunderstone, and this is Blaze Flarington, Houdini Presto, Skyler Wing, Forrest Woods, and Draven Onyx. This is the 10th video in the Album of the Day series, and today's genre is any subgenre of pop. I was happy to get a broad genre this time because it gave me a lot to pick from. I decided to go with a J-pop album, because I love J-pop. It's just so sugary and fun, and how can you not love the kawaii aesthetic? I went with one of my favorite J-pop artists, Kyary Pamyu Pamyu, specifically her first album, Pamyu Pamyu Revolution. Anyway, this album is awesome. Every song is delightful, happy-go-lucky whirlwind of sugary synths, upbeat melodies, and cutesy singing. The one exception is Oyasumi. It is a bit slower and offers a welcome reprieve. I could replay this album all day if I wanted to, but there are too many other great albums I'd be missing out on. 10 out of 10. To each their own, Bolt. But I fail to see how anyone could listen to this album all day without getting sick of it. Then again, I'm probably not the right person to judge that, because I got sick of this album halfway through track 2. The singing is annoying, the lyrics are repetitive, the concepts are dumb, and the kawaii to the point of parody aesthetics made my head hurt. I get that Kyary Pamyu Pamyu is self-aware, but it still sounds awful. Also, those sugary synths on every track really started to run together after a few songs. I could barely tell the last few songs, excluding track 11, apart. I will admit Oyasumi is a good song, though. The borderline neoclassical dark wave intro was an interesting touch. As a whole, this album gets a 4 out of 10, but that song is worthwhile. I agree almost entirely, Skyler. This was one of the most annoying albums I've ever listened to. Every single song is repetitive, stupid, and annoying. Even the one song that didn't sound exactly like the others is just okay. Yeah, this album really started to run together for me after a few tracks. Also, why were 2 of the tracks over 5 minutes? If you're gonna make music that sounds like this, the least you can do is have brevity. Yeah, this was a painful experience, and honestly, I'll be glad when we get this review posted so we can move on to Houdini's turn. Well, I'm no math whiz like Skyler, but even I can tell that I'm not beating Draven this week. As this group's resident math whiz, I can confirm that you are not. Wow, I was not expecting this album to be so polarizing. When I listen to it, I hear a perfectly serviceable pop album. It has a few good songs, such as Pon Pon Pon, Candy Candy, and Drinker. It also has some songs that actively annoy me, like Kyary Pamyu and Suki Sugi Tekiresu. Yeah, I'm butchering that. Other than that, it's all fun, but not spectacular pop music. Doesn't deserve the hate or the love you guys are giving it. 6 out of 10. I'm kind of in the same boat as you, Blaze, because to me this is a mixed bag. Oyasumi, Pon Pon Pon, and Drinker are all good songs, but there are quite a few others on here that annoy me, mainly because the concepts are ridiculously stupid. Candy Candy and Suke Matsukaru are some of the dumbest songs ever. Also, the repetition of both sound and lyrics combined with how sickeningly sweet everything is really starts to grate on me after 12 tracks of it. Then there are a couple songs that are just okay, such as the closing track and a couple of others that I won't even try to pronounce the names of. Yeah, this is a mixed bag. 5 out of 10. Well, this was a failure. Especially since I already knew from the look on Draven's face that he isn't giving it above a 3. You would be correct. This album was terrible. It was one of the most annoying, insipid, and inane albums ever written. There was one decent song, that being Oyasumi, because it sounded a bit different. Other than that, this album made me want to stab my eardrums out. Also, why were some of these songs over 5 minutes long? It seems to me that anyone not named Bolt would get tired of this sound before then. 2 out of 10, this sucked. Skyler, please calculate the combined score before my ears start bleeding. Why sure, Draven. This album gets a combined score of 29 out of 60. Not even half. In fact, if my memory serves me correct, this is the only album to get below 30 so far. Not just this week, but overall. Sorry, Bolt, but I have a feeling you're coming in last place this week. You guys just hate fun. If you knew how to have fun, you all would have given this album at least an 8. Anyway, tomorrow's Houdini's turn to pick. Now, let's throw it back to Morgan. And that's my video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I'm Morgan the Rebellious Reviewer, and I'm out.